Hi, welcome to Waiter Nation. I'm Fagan. On this Wednesday's episode, we're in Millville, New Jersey at the SNJ radio station with professional waiter and radio host Vince Sacco. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Today's a Saturday morning. This is our night as a waiter. You're doing our show, and then you're doing your radio show, and then you're going to go work a long night in the restaurant. Thanks for being here.
No, thank you again for having me.
I was a guest on Two Chicks and a Chef. It's your radio show. You're the radio host here. You're not included in the title, but you're really the color of the show, aren't you?
Well, I try to be.
Yeah.
I try to keep things, interactive, fun, and try to give it a little twist.
There's not much filter on the whole show, but there's really no filter on you, right?
Yeah, I only have the two chicks here to, shoot an elbow into my side, or Andrew, my producer, to censor me, when I get a little off.
It's fun. I live stream it from home every Saturday in the afternoon. I'm doing some stuff, but I listen to it every week. I pick up your live feeds from Facebook. It's really a fun show. How did it come about?
Actually, it came about through what we're doing right now, social media.
Right.
I wound up flipping through Facebook one day, and I saw this colorful character named Kimmy Cocktail,
right.
And I was like, every single guy needs a woman named Kimmy Cocktail in his life. So
Perfect.
I reached out to her, and through a friendship, she told me that they had already had this in the works. So.
Nice. Well, you had a lot of knowledge because you're a professional waiter, but you're also a sommelier, and you are # your wine guy.
Yes,
right?
Your wine guy, absolutely. One of the chicks here is a social media manager.
Okay.
She runs people's Facebooks and Instagram,
Yeah.
and she has given me ways to increase my visibility and popularity, things like that. I guess you need a strong hashtag. So.
I can tell you, as we go around and do interviews and I go around the city, everybody says, you know who would be a good guest for you? Vincent Sacco, do you know him? And I was like, yeah, we're both doing a lot of projects and we've been talking for a couple of months. Happy to have you on one. So how'd you get into wine? Like, when did you find that passion?
Well, just like you, I believe I was a day one employee at Brigada.
Right.
I worked at Ombra originally with Chef Luke Palladino. And it was definitely Inez Rubistello, who was the original wine director at Brigada, and just her passion and her spunk, I mean, she was just such a great person, and she just, I guess you put 100 people in a room, and I'm that one person that just got it and ran with it, and it's like you said, now it's my life. I mean,
you posted a picture. You sold Sloan Cabernet and also a Shiraz Grange. Right. Grange was the wine that did it for me. All of a sudden, I tasted everything in wine. Do you have a wine that, like, all of a sudden, like that?
Absolutely. That wine for me, the one that kind of sparked it was the Gaia Promise.
Okay.
Which is it's a blend, 55% Merlot, 35 Syrah, 10 Sangiovese, but it is the wine that when I first got into wine, I mean, that was the one that was just like, wow, this
all of a sudden
this
things
beautiful.
Like chocolate made sense to you,
absolutely.
And tobacco and coffee. Right. When that all makes sense, it's amazing.
Right.
When
mixed with the fact that, again, I'm a waiter first and foremost, and we were discussing. I mean, my whole check food-wise could be $200, and here the bottle of wine could be just as much, if not more. So as a waiter, you want to increase your check average because it really increases your tip.
It's always great. I feel pretty comfortable with my wine knowledge, but it's always great to have somebody like you on the floor, always to get a little help and back up. Hey, I got a question. Am I right with this guess? Am I just guessing? Right. And it always helps the customer, too, when you have more people involved. You work at a great room, Vic and Anthony's at Golden Nugget. They have a spectacular wine list, so you're lucky that way that you do have the Sloans and the,
Right.
You also do a web series every week for Golden Nugget.
Right.
I just picked it up last week, and I missed the first episode, and I went back in your Facebook and saw it. It's great. And you really make wine approachable with this. And you kind of teach, but you're not over everybody's head, which I think a lot of times wine somms are.
Right. I always say, I've been told that I'm, instead of being that bow tie wine geek, I'm more like, my cousin Vinny mixed with Eminem, I don't know. So, I've been called worse. So
it's definitely a blue collar approach.
But, even me, man, I'm 5 foot nothing, people just, they don't expect me to know anything about wine. Right. So, and you have to win everybody over, really. I mean, once I start speaking and they realize, okay, he actually does know his stuff. But just like you, I rely on people too. You know? I mean, saying you're a wine expert is like saying you're a librarian that's read every book in the library.
Exactly.
There's 3,000 grape varietals alone in Italy, which I'll never memorize.
Exactly.
And, but I have people just as good as my restaurant is in my wine list. I have a great staff. You know, people like Randy, people like Yanni. That I can confide in, that I can go to, and because they've been in the business longer than me,
Sure.
and I always need help as well.
Yeah. So the web series, I think it's great because Golden Nugget is a well-known brand, and you're out there speaking about their wines and picking Anthony's.
It's helped me, but it's also put a target on me too, man. I mean, so. But yes, Jenny Mullen, who is the marketing director at Golden Nugget, came to me one night after I served her a bottle of wine and said, I have this idea, and it's honestly, it's been, even, I've been on TV before, I've done, the radio. Yeah. By far the biggest exposure I've had so far. I mean, I can walk to the casino and people yell at me, "Hey, wine guy," and I'm like, I don't even know that person.
What is the name of the web series?
Wednesday's Wine Academy.
Perfect. But at the end of the day, well, let's see this. We did say something. My worst feeling in a restaurant when somebody talks about wine is some guy read Wine Spectator early that morning, right?
Right.
And now he thinks that he knows more about me, and I hate it when I don't have the answers. So
it's tough, man. I mean, I get it all the time. It's like I said, it's an unbelievably contentious thing. People always want to challenge me.
Right.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, you can blank me
Sure.
every once. I mean, if you Googled some obscure varietal that morning and you want to ask, I mean, I may just be like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to lie, but again, as long as you have the knowledge and background, if you ask me about a certain Cabernet from California that I haven't had in a while, it's more indicative of this region, or I can give you, the basic background. But it happens. It does happen. But like you said, people love to, Google things in the morning and they come in and
stump the waiter.
Stump the somm.
Which is fine. So, but with all these titles, web series, radio host, sommelier, what do you call yourself at the end of the day? I'm a waiter.
I'm a waiter first and foremost. Absolutely.
And I love that because what we do is we always promote waiters and say, be proud to say you're a waiter.
Right.
And you do that. You're a great example of it. I think you're a great example to a lot of young waiters coming up, and I'm a big fan.
All right. Well, I mean, like we said, first and foremost, it doesn't pay as good as you'd think. I drink better than a lot of people, but I have children, and I have to make that money, man, and that's where you make the money is on the floor, waiting tables, and I'm proud to say I'm a waiter,
Vince, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We are radio hosts.
We are Waiter Nation.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. We are changing everything you think a waiter is, one story at a time. We'll see you next Wednesday.